ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्तिः शान्तिः शान्तिः। ॐ नमो ब्रह्मादिभ्यो ब्रह्मविद्या सम्प्रदायकर्तृभ्यो वंशऋषिभ्यो महद्भ्यो नमो गुरुभ्यः। ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः। ॐ श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पाद शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः। ॐ भवयेव भवानिति मे नितरां समजायत चेतसि कौतुकिता मम वारय मोहमहाजलधिं भवशङ्करदेशिक मे शरणं। समस्त ब्रह्म विद्याचार्येभ्यो ऋषिभ्यो मुनिभ्यो गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम श्री वेदव्यास वैशंपायन याज्ञवल्क्याद्य शंकराचार्य पर्यादि गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम अस्मद्गुरुभ्यो नमः। ओम परब्रह्मणे नमः। ओम श्रुतिमात्रे नमः। Early morning better to spend in the chanting of Veda mantras and seeing the meaning of the Vedanta mantra. This is the way when we keep on doing, like whatever we practice, we become perfect in that. When we do the practice of Vedanta mantrocharana, Vedanta mantra shravana, artha shravanam, we become masters of that. And these Vedanta Upanishad mantras have the meaning of the reality and the sadhana for us. When we become masters of that, we will know what sadhana to do to know the self, so that we get liberated from the not self. Chant now today in our chanting. Fourth one in the Brahmananda Valli, Yato Vacho Nivartante onwards, up to the Abhaya Pratishtha mantra. Ucharana should be perfect. Try to follow the swara, fully focus the mind there. Invoke Shruti Mata grace and also Guru Parampara Krupa. Om. Om Atha Parayanam Om Yato Vacho Nivartante Aprapya Manasa Saha Anandam Brahmano Vidwan Nabibheti Kadachaneti तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्मान्मनोमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मा विज्ञानमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य श्रद्धैव शिरः हृदं दक्षिणपक्षः सत्यमुत्तर पक्षः योग आत्मा महपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवते विज्ञानं यज्ञं तनुते कर्माणि तनुतेऽपि च विज्ञानं देवाः सर्वे ब्रह्मज्येष्ठमुपासते विज्ञानं ब्रह्म चेद्वेद तस्माच्चेन्न प्रमाद्यते शरीरे पाप्मनो हित्वा सर्वान् कामान् समश्नुत इति तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य तस्माद्वा एतस्माद् विज्ञानमयात् अन्योन्तर आत्मानन्दमयः तेनैष पूर्णः स वा एष पुरुषविद एव तस्य पुरुषविदताम् अन्वयं पुरुषविदः तस्य प्रियमेव शिरः मोदो दक्षिणपक्षः प्रमोद उत्तरपक्षः आनन्द आत्मा ब्रह्मपुच्छं प्रतिष्ठा तदप्येष श्लोको भवति असन्नेव स भवति असद्ब्रह्मेति वेद चेत् अस्ति ब्रह्मेति चेद्वेद सन्तमेनन्ततो विदुरिते तस्यैष एव शारीर आत्मा यः पूर्वस्य अथातो प्रश्नाः उता विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चन गच्छति आहो विद्वानमुं लोकं प्रेत्य कश्चित् समश्नुता ओ सोकामयत बहुस्यां प्रजा येति स तपोतप्यत स तपस्तप्त्वा इदगं सर्वमसृजत यदिदं किञ्च तत् सृष्ट्वा तदेवानुप्राविशत् तदनुप्रविश्य सच्चत्यच्चाभवत् निरुक्तं च निरुक्तं च निलयनं च निलयनं च विज्ञानं च विज्ञानं च सत्यं चानृतं च सत्यमभवत् यदिदं किञ्च तत्सत्यमित्याचक्षते तदप्येष श्लोको भवति असद्वा इदमग्र आसीत् ततो वै सदजायत तदात्मानग्गः स्वयमकुरुत तस्मात् तत्सुकृतमुच्यत इति यद्वै तत्सुकृतं रसो वै सः रसगः ह्येवायं लब्ध्वानन्दी भवति को ह्येवान्यात् कः प्राण्यात् यदेष आकाश आनन्दो न स्यात् एष ह्येवानन्दयाते यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन् दृश्येनात्म्ये निरुक्ते निलयने भयं प्रतिष्ठां विन्दते अतसो भयं गतो भवते यदा ह्येवैष एतस्मिन्नुदरमन्तरं कुरुते अत तस्य भयं भवते तत्त्वेव भयं विदुषो मन्वानस्य तदप्येष श्लोको भवति ॐ शान्तिः 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 ॐ अथ श्रीकृष्णयजुर्वेदान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय शाखान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय आरण्यकान्तर्गत तैत्तिरीय उपनिषद ॐ यस्माज्जातं जगत्सर्वं यस्मिन्नेव प्रलीयते येनेदन्धार्यते चैव तस्मै ज्ञानात्मने नमः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्ताः तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहं तैत्तिरीयकसारस्य मयाचार्यप्रसादतः विस्पष्टार्थरुचीनां हि व्याख्येयं सम्प्रणीयते ओमत प्रथमा शिक्षा वल्ली प्रथमोऽनुवाकः शान्तिमन्त्रः ॐ शन्नो मित्रः शं वरुणः शन्नो भवत्वर्यमा शन्न इन्द्रो बृहस्पतिः शन्नो विष्णुरुक्रमः नमो ब्रह्मणे नमस्ते वायो त्वमेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्मासि त्वामेव प्रत्यक्षं ब्रह्म वदिष्यामि ऋतं वदिष्यामि सत्यं वदिष्यामि तन्मामवदो तद्वक्तारमवदो अवतु माम् अवतु वक्तारम् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः Saluting all the Rishi Muni Guru Devata Parampara, especially our Guru Parampara Gotra Rishi, also the Brahma Vidya Acharya Parampara in this Upanishad, Veda Vyasa Vaishampayana Yagnivalkya Adya Shankara, and also salutation to our own personal Guru. What is spiritual sadhana? Spirituality in Sanskrita called as Adhyatmika Jivanam. Adhi means around, Atma means self. Every type of dynamic, active thinking and acting, keeping I as the central theme. For my own all round development, my contribution to the world. All that thinking, all that doing is called as Adhyatmikata. So, the Adhyatmikata with regard to the world is what we are part of the world. Therefore, to continue to be the healthy part of the world, what we have to do, which are called as dharma, doing that is called as the Adhyatmikata. Second thing is what? Should we stay as we are now or should we grow? Definitely we should grow. What adds to our growth, what makes our growth is other than dharma, beyond the dharma, the extra contribution. The extra contributions are called the seva, service to the world, the punya, the upasana, ityadi. Therefore, they all become the adhyatmika sadhana in which doer is me, beneficiary is me. When I do seva, I am the beneficiary. When I do the upasana, I am the beneficiary. What are the benefits? I will be given more equipments, more powers, and more of the resources, more of the positions, etc. Like today, I am at one particular level of individuality. With these things, I'll be evolved, promoted to the next level. Third one is when I am with myself or with the world involving, I am given my own upadhis or instruments. They are exclusively mine. Therefore, understanding each one of them, maintaining each one of them, managing each one of them, mastering each one of them, empowering each one of them, controlling each one of them, using them for the perfect or the best or the highest or the noblest purpose. All these things being consciously doing is called as spirituality. It starts from the deha. Such a great instrument, the deha, the human deha for us. No other deha is as sophisticated as this. Therefore, managing, maintaining, protecting, not misusing or abusing it, and using it for the right purpose, all that is called as spirituality. Then comes the prana shaktis. We have the energy. Always the energy should be intact, should be always resourceful, never ever. We should lack in our energy to function at any level of our personality. There are some people, every second day they go to petrol pump and stand in line for 20 minutes and get the one. There are other intelligent people, they fill the tank only once in a week they go. Is it not? You can't go every day. It depending on your work. If you are not going anywhere, घर में रहते हो, थोड़ा पेट्रोल डालो चलता है. But every day you are in the moment. You can't every time waste time. Is it not? Even at home also, huge family is there. All this stock you pile up at one time so that for 15 days, 20 days, no worry. It's all wisdom, wise way of living. In the same way, I have to do those variety of eatings or exercise or pranayama, etc., so that my prana shakti, which alone is the cause of the functioning of the one side the antakarana, other side jnanendriya, karmendriya, third side the sustenance of the deha, that prana shakti is a full energy all the time. That is called as adhyatma sadhana. And most of prana shakti management is rather than creating it more and more, it is always in conserving. When we don't misuse the prana shakti, then that will be always in a good position. Many of the time, what happens, we get the shakti from various sources, but all that is wasted in misusing and abusing. If we can control, curtail all of them, then lot of prana shakti is conserved. It gets wasted through the mana, it's by its wrong thinking, it gets wasted a lot through the senses. With every perception we are getting of the world, lot of prana shakti is being used. So if that perception is of the good one, then the right use of prana shakti. If those perceptions are of not used, then prana shakti is wasted. Like every rupee of ours, rightly spent, used, misspent is wasted. In the same way, that itself is also Adhyatma sadhana. In Adhyatma sadhana, everything related to us, we have to mind. And in the first step itself, our duty towards world, in that Everything has come. Taking care of family, taking care of the people, things around us, depending on our position and duty, all of that is Adhyatmikata. Adhyatmika means I am aware of myself, I am aware of my position, I am aware of my duties, I am performing them. Each one of them are duty. Going to job, duty. Voting, casting the vote, duty. Taking care of family, duty. Then minding the body, duty. Minding prana, duty. Next, the senses. That's called Adhyatmikata. Knowing the greatness of the Indriyas, protecting them, not misusing them, making right use of them. That attentiveness is called as Adhyatmikata. When this much is done, then comes the real crucial special Adhyatmikata, where now the focus more is on the our inner equipments called as Antakkara. All the four of the Antakarana, though it is tough is one, functionally four, becoming aware of each one of them and mastering each one of them and making use of them. Again, for what? For the ultimate purpose, now the real Adhyatmikata is to know the truth, to know the reality, to know the self, to know the absolute Paramatatva. That is the ultimate goal. Here, the ultimate spirituality is explained. And then this ultimate Adhyatmikata cannot happen without the Adhyatmikata of managing of our Antakarana. The coming to the level of managing of Antakarana, we will not be promoted or we are not lifted to that level unless the so far said Adhyatmikatas are not done. And in all these things, all the time we are busy. That's called spiritual life. Nowhere we are lacking or lazying or anything. हर जगह पे हम दृष्टि लगा के कर रहे हैं. Now, what is the Adhyatmika sadhana at each of the Antakarana level? If you see, first at the level of Chitta. What is this Chitta? Is going into Laya Avastha always. That is why the Karikakara has in that one mantra told us all sadhanas. If you remember, Laye Sambodhayet Chittam, see, Vikshiptam Shamayet Punaha, Sakashayam Vijaniyat, Samam Praptam Nachanayed. Laye Sambodhayet Chittam, it's a sadhana for the Chitta. Vikshiptam Shamayet Punaha is a sadhana with the Mano. Sakashayam Vijaniyat is sadhana with the Ahankara. Samam Praptam Nachalayat is the sadhana with the Buddhi. Or Sakashayam Vijaniyat is with Buddhi. Samam Praptam Nachalayat is with Ahankara. So first thing is what? The Chitta which is always going into Laya Avastha has to be woken up. What is the Chitta going to Laya Avastha is non-awareness of anything, anytime. In Nidra Avastha, just like that. Like in Nidra, everything is sleepy. Total zero. In waking plane also, living like a Nidra, only called as Chitta Laya Avastha. Wherein, for everything, somebody has to remind us. We are forgetful about ourselves, we are forgetful of world around, we are not able to become aware of what is happening, we are not aware of what's our position, what we have to do. All that type of lethargic, lazy, indolent, non-active, non-dynamic state is called laya. हमको उससे फरे लये संबोधे चित्तम. We have to wake up ourselves from that. Means what? Active at the thoughts level. Let us put it this way. Active at the thoughts level. In that, awareness also of the thought level. No thought is also not right in the beginning. It is either sleepiness or it is non-sadhana. Ultimately, the thought-free level is when we recognize the consciousness, the self. There, we will transcend the thoughts. That's called Nirvikalpa Samadhi. But what takes us to that stage is thoughts only. Therefore, always we have to be thoughtful. It's called as Laye Sambodhayet Chittam. Okay, once we have become thoughtful, then those thoughts, in which way they have to be maintained or managed, is the next activity. In that come all these three remaining, the mana, buddhi, ahankar. पहले चित्त को उठाओ सोने से, हमेशा सोया हुआ रहता है हमको. Just see that people 8 hours, 10 hours they travel in train. सोते हुए हैं चित्त, nothing is doing. 8 hours is a big period of time with which in which the mind can do millions of things. So many it can. Either sleepy or brooding about some nonsense. These talked about not a person traveling in train only, all of us only. What did we do so far in our last 80, 90 years? Little use of chitta for some wrong or little minimum required purposes. Most of the time it was sleepy only, like a buffalo. And the one whose chitta story is awakening alone are becoming the scientists, the spiritual giants, the great social workers, great politicians who are serving in a big way. Is because of chitta sambodhanam. Because they are recognized. Their presence, the position of the world, their talent, what can be done. So their chitta is always sambodhita sthiti and infinite power is there in chitta. Out of that, they were going on using see the outcome. And all of us, जिस सड़े जगह से स्टार्ट हुए हैं बचपन में उसी जगह पे इवन नाउ वी आर our chitta is sleeping. Is it not? A Mahatma Gandhi. Chitta was semi-opened when he was a barrister. But when he came to India and saw the position, immediately his Chitta got sambodhita to higher level. Then the nation is in the chains of slavery, it has to be freed. Chitta ka sambodhan hua immediately. Not only he conceived ideas, he awakened the chitta of so many sleeping people. Is it not? In all these examples. In the same way, in our life, the chitta should be awakened. In fact, all the earlier things which we said right from the outer duty performance, maintenance of body, senses, and all will be possible only with the chitta awakens. Else we sleep. क्या हो रहा है बॉडी में होने दो, क्या हो रहा है प्राण शक्ति होने दो, क्या हो रहा है इंद्रिया में होने दो. Unmindful of all things. That is absolute non-human life, lazy life, stony life. How can we be unmindful of anything related to us? Is it not? We should be mindful of everything, even about the nails, even about the hair, even about every cell of the body. We have to become aware through chitta as to what is happening in my stomach, what's happening in my kidney, pancreas, heart. यार ये सब मेरा है, मुझे दिया गया है, मैं यूज कर रहा हूँ, मुझे जानना है इसको. Like if I drive car, I must know the aware of every aspect of car. I know some people with whom I driving traveled. They're so mindful about everything, including finally that fragrance. Careful they are. The neatness of car, cleanliness of car, position of the petrol. And he explains to him, ज़्यादा भी नहीं भरना पेट्रोल बहुत कम भी नहीं होना. It should be between 60 to 70 or 50 to 70. Why? Because that's the one which gives correct mileage. They are mindful of that. The speed, because the road is smooth, 140 jao. Nah, it is 80, 90 maintained, all parts will be intact. It will give long service. And I have planned my journey in such a way that I'll reach destination on time. There no need to be hurry. How much see that awareness of chitta? Every point just stops the car. क्या हुआ? Light sound आ रहा है, ऐसे मैं देख रहा हूँ. टायर में कुछ साउंड, कुछ कुछ कुआ डामर और चिपका है और निकाल दिया तो सीधा. सम पीपल आर लाइक अदर पीपल, पता नहीं कितना धूल मिट्टी है कार में, किधर का साफ ही नहीं किया 2 महीने से. That way also one can live, but that doesn't show the dignity of a responsible human being outside. In the same way, a responsible evolving individual means what? Awakening the chitta to everything. Once we unfold ourselves, then the awakening of chitta is in taking the whole world into account and trying for the awareness or evolution of the entire. पहले अपना. At the first level, our purpose in the world is not to become liability and be an asset by doing what we are supposed to do. देश का उद्धार, दुनिया का उद्धार बाद में. हमारा कंट्रीब्यूशन इतना करो, वो उद्धार हो गया. Then spiritually, when we evolve and come to a stable level, then again you take the world into account, help them also. Okay, now among these three things, what is the awakening first of the mana? Among the four, the mana के level में आध्यात्मिक साधना क्या है? The manas, the chanchalata has to be brought into stability. That is called as adhyatmikata at the mind level. All the time mind should be maintained awakenedly in the nischala sthiti, not in the chanchala sthiti. See, the mind is either in the nidra avastha or chanchala. That is why vikshiptam shamayet punaha. Always the mind, either in sleep or when it wakes up, it is involved in million things. Among them, for 10, 20 are useful, baki is a bakwas. It has become a habit to the mind. It's called manorajyam, technically. Manorajyam means the mind creates its own kingdom and goes on moving in that of all variety of thoughts which are not required. You have to be very careful. Mind can have many thoughts. Doesn't mean it should be used for that. It's not purpose. So, like a servant can do so many works, but he should not do all. You tell him what to do, that alone he should do. Is it not? So to the mind. That type of stopping the mind from unnecessary vikshepa, keeping always in a shanta sthiti is the adhyatmika sadhana of the mana level. अहंकार का साधना क्या है? It is always should be responsible individuality than indulgent individuality. Neither irresponsible nor indulgent. An indulgent individuality always in the bhoga through the senses, mana ityadi. Irresponsible individual is what? Careless. Avoiding both of them, the management of aham always is the responsible individual. Ability to respond to the situation where we have to perform. That is called responsibility. That is the ego management. Is it not? In that, irresponsibility towards oneself, responsibility to the around people to the extent required. And wherever not required, we should be able to withdraw also the involvement of our individuality in that. Like the children have come to level of 30, they are married. You have to, your ego should not involve in them unless they ask. You need not to go on poking them. It's enough. Let them जीने दो उसको क्या है. But till that age, you have to have the responsibility consciously. That what prajascha, prajanascha, prajatischa, we are going to study today. Clear? More detail you can work out. But among all of that, most important instrument which alone does the Adhyatmic sadhana is buddhi. Buddhi has to always take the reference of the Vedanta Shastras, shlokas, mantra, and keep on delving deeply, pondering deeply, inquiring deeply about what is said in them and how far it is right. This contemplation thinking, how far it is true, how far it is logical. This should be the job of buddhi. That is called as managing buddhi. That is adhyatmakata at the buddhi level. Every time the buddhi should have one or the other Vedanta shloka contemplating on that. This is possible only when the ego has fulfilled its responsibility. Else, ego will not allow buddhi to think. And also the mind will not allow the buddhi to think if it is in a chanchala sthiti. It's like you cannot come and sit in the class. If your wife is sick or your the child is problem, कैसा होगा वो? When she is healthy, nice, and he child also doing his study well, you are stable. You are buddhi coming to the class. The wife is the ego, the child is the mana. or whatever the thing you take. If those instruments are well, then only buddhi is used. Everything is done by buddhi. But buddhi is not allowed to be done because of these three. जब चित्त लयावस्था में है तो बुद्धि भी उसके साथ लय में जाता है. Ahankara is not doing his responsibility, buddhi also becomes careless. Mana is chanchala, then buddhi has not given a chance. So mana को निश्चल बनाया, अहम को responsible बनाया, चित्त को जगाया, that is management. Then buddhi को use किया. Spirituality at the ultimate level is using of the buddhi. दृश्यते तो अग्रया बुद्ध्या, सूक्ष्मया बुद्ध्या. बुद्धिं तु सारथं विद्धि बुद्ध्या विशुद्धया युक्तः धृत्यात्मानं नियम्य च शब्दादीन् विद्यान् त्यक्त्वा रागद्वेषौ. So all these things 18 chapter में बताया. Everywhere it is what? बुद्धि ग्राह्यम अतीन्द्रियम. Everywhere बुद्धौ शरणम अन्विच्छ. Is it not? ददामि बुद्धि योगम तम येन माम उपयान्ति. Everywhere buddhi, buddhi, buddhi. Buddhi's job is what? Take a shloka, see the meaning, see the truth of it, reality of it. When the truth reality is convinced, how to make it an experience. It's called buddhi work. Like speak truth. Buddhi should think what is the meaning of truth? Why it should be spoken? What are the benefits? If not spoken, what are the losses? ये सब ये मन का ये अहंकार का चित्त का काम नहीं है, बुद्धि का काम. Once it is understood, yes, not speaking truth problem, speaking truth is right. Now, how to speak? The planning. In that planning, everything is clear. Which are the occasions they demand me to speak the truth, go on doing it. So you are enjoying speaking truth and its benefits. So everything, you have to love everyone purely. It's an idea, a thought, a scripture said. Atma upamyena sarvatra samam. Think about it. What is the meaning of love? Pure love. Why it should be there? If it is there, how it benefits me and the world. If I don't have the love, what will happen? What replaces it? How it becomes a liability, a problem. Then how to start loving, practicing love, inner love, outer love, unexpressed love, expressing love, subtle love, and spiritual love, relational love. Everything is clear. This is Buddhist job. And the Shastra Jnana Satsanga equips the Buddhi with sufficient data for its correct functioning and utilization. Mana Nischala you can make through Japa Adi. Ahankara can become responsible by becoming a devotee. Chitta is made awakened by avoiding all the tamasic bhojanam, tamasic watching TV and all that nonsense and exposing it to the sattvic vishayas. Chitta can be made awakened. This is called, this awareful doing is spirituality. In that I am everywhere there, fully responsible. At the higher level, the spirituality therefore is this I who has managed all of that has to, after using buddhi for the world for some time, then the buddhi used for what is the substratum, what is reality, what is the self, what is the truth, what is untruth, unreal, imaginary. वो सोचते हुए ये अहम वो बुद्धि के द्वारा अपना स्वरूप में जाना, that is final आध्यात्मिकता. Then seeing that self alone everywhere. Just once in a while, when we ponder of all these things, some clarities come. That is why the discussion today. So we are in the class equipping our buddhi with what we have to do outside, inside as upasana. Having done which, when we become qualified, what we have to do innermost as contemplation to transcend all ignorance, imagination, to discover the truth, the reality, the self. Whether you call it ब्रह्मा और आत्मा, ट्रुथ और रियलिटी और सेल्फ और रियलाइजेशन, मोक्ष निर्वाण, कुछ भी शब्द करो, सारा एक अनुभव को दिखाते. आई एम दैट वाला अनुभव. Shastras teaches that Upanishads. In our Upanishads, we are trying to understand it. And in this Upanishad, if other things are not managed, this will not become effective. 3 tires are good, 1 tire is not good, journey will be not good. चारों ठीक होने. In the same way, we have to manage every aspect of our life, which is necessary part for systematic proper growth in spirituality. Spirituality is after managing everything, not neglecting everything. Along with managing everything, spirituality. And whenever spirituality is not possible, go to the basics or the roots. Somewhere there is a problem, correct there and come back. Is it not? Spirituality not हो रहा क्यों? Body is not cooperating. Therefore, separate the body, come to spiritual. Don't neglect the body. Because if the body is not good, you try to meditate, how will you do? Therefore, spending time to repair body itself is meditation there. So to the senses, the mind, outer vyavahara. That is why in this particular Upanishad, what the subject we are studying is exactly related. In the ninth Anuvaka, what we are taught is fulfilling all our responsibility duties so effectively, perfectly, that the non-performance of all of them would be obstruction to spiritual involvement. Now all of them are done, then nothing inner and outer stops or disturbs us in our next portion of Brahma Vida Apnoti Param Ityadi, the Vedantic Vichara of Tattva. Is it not? So this is how slowly, day by day, through thinking, we have to become more clear in the understanding about what is spiritual sadhana. Once you understand this, spiritually जीने के लिए है मनुष्य हुए. Not it's not a prerogative privilege of any of the animals, etc. They can't. They will only live as body, die as body. They don't even know that they are living as body, but they live only as body. Many of the human beings also, they don't know that they are living as Deha, but they are living only as Deha. You and I only are thinking about I, and this I is identity with Deha and consequent suffering as Jiva, and this I withdraw from Deha Upadi and identify with the ultimate self so that he experiences the infinite. He means the I. Only few spiritually exposed people only know this. Baki sab living life like animal at the body level. And every faculty they use only to live as body. Senses they use for deha, emotion they use for deha. Like why the child loves mother emotionally, only she gives comforts, khana degi. Isn't it? Deha ke liye hota hai. I love my government and sir. Why they give salary? With that, again deha. हर बंदा अपना मनोबुद्धि चित्त को यूज कर रहा है देह तादात्म्य के लिए ही. Whole world, they don't know that that's what we are also doing that only. But Deha is not the ultimate, ultimate is self. The I has to achieve to that. That will be told to us only when you listen to Vedantic Shastra. In that also, every time while teaching that ultimate sadhana, how to manage also are told. Both put together is proper evolution. A plane should have both wings properly managed, then it takes off. So to I will take off in my spiritual unfoldment when my spiritual sadhana and my vyavahara wings both are balanced. Proper. एक विंग गड़बड़ है, घूम 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 के ढबा गिर जाता है. That is why I see the beauty of this Navamanuvaka. One, inevitable, necessary maintenance of the equipments and vyavahara and sadhana is told. Other side, the spirituality. This is what today's introduction. Now we saw Bhashyakara's introductory Bhashya, that when it is said that through Upasana everything is gained, Shauta Smartha Karma means our obligatory duties seem to be neglected. Then that is not true. Then other point is what? Through Antakarana Shuddhi, by giving us Antakarana Shuddhi, all our obligatory duties become very useful things for the Adhyatmic sadhana. To put it this way, only by doing our duties that we get the Antakarana Shuddhi. After that alone, we become qualified for spiritual sadhana. Therefore, they have to be necessarily conducted. Then we saw yesterday, therefore, the pure real growth of an individual in sadhana is what? All the three things. The karma, the activity involvement in the world, pakka it should. So to the upasana, to the infinite Lord also should be pakka. Then the inquiry about the absolute truth also should be at the peak level. Okay. At one level, the karma, etc., gets reduced. Sarvadharman parityaj. It comes to Mamayakam Sharam Raja level. Then it also ends in Sarva Papebhya Mokshayishyami. Papa here is ignorance, removal of ignorance. Then Mahashujaha, there is no Jiva to suffer there because there is Atma whose nature is only Ananda. That one sloka, 66 of 18th chapter of Gita, talks all these three. Fulfill all the duty, rise above that, come to personal level, rise above that, come to the jnana, to the jnana, remove the ajnana, avidya, establish in yourself. After that, there is no upasana or karma required for you for evolve. You are evolved person. Still, you do the upasana and karma to help others and guide others. Not under obligation of wanting to achieve something, but under the obligation of gratitude as well as what else to do after that. That way, Jivan Muktas live, by the way. Clear? Always remember, nowhere we should lack in understanding as well as performance. That type of, all types of total growth is healthy growth, like a tree. The roots should be strong, trunk should be strong, branches should be strong, healthy leaves, a good flower, it should become fruit. बढ़िया, अरे वो रूट ही ठीक नहीं तो गिर ही जाएगा हवा से. Trunk ठीक नहीं है, it won't lead to the branches. The branches are not strong, then they won't give the leaves or the flowers. Then without that, what is the use of tree? In the house also, no? All the walls, the छत, नीचे जमीन, फर्श सब ठीक होना चाहिए. The electrical equipment, all the plumbing, सारा बढ़िया है तो घर बढ़िया. On the road should be good, turning should be good, signal should be good, the divider should be good, travelers also should be सब है तो सुहाना suffer. So too in life, we can't be neglecting anything. Negligence is tamoguna. Immaturity it is. You can't neglect anything. That's what Lord Krishna, that was Gurudev. Gurudev never neglected anything. He was so full aware of everything, such a perfect he was in everything. It is something, that's called real growth. Very rare such Mahatma. Many Mahatmas on the name of Vairagya, and all, they don't care some things. कोई भी कपड़े हो क्या फर्क पड़ता है. Gurudev, I am seen by thousands of people. I should not give a chance them for any wrong impression, even because of my clothing. Therefore, he'll wear a very good dress in a best manner. The laugh of him, the walk of him, everything is perfection manifested. That's why he is something rare and unique. There can be many Brahmavidya acharyas. They can teach. They can teach in a Shuddha Sanskrita Bhasha and all. Gurudev taught in English. Those greatnesses they may have. But as regard this aspect of valuing everything, importance giving everything is only Gurudev. His खड़ाव से लेकर हर एक चीज, ओ बाप रे, perfection manifested. The effort that way to become perfect itself is a sadhana. Again, perfection should be within us. Don't insist on others. Then it becomes samsara. Be careful about these things. Perfection is a joyful effort to grow. And it is endless. From our standpoint, Gurudev is perfect. But from his standpoint, there can be even higher goals. Because perfection is a process, not a culmination. So that way we should grow in all aspects. That's the idea. Okay. Now we'll chant this mantra. We have seen three of them. Fourth onwards we'll see. Start. Atha navamonuvakaha. Om rutam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Satyam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Tapascha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Damascha swadhyaya pravachane cha. Shamascha swadhyaya pravachane cha. अग्नयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अग्निहोत्रं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च अतिथयश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च मानुषं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजा च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजनश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च प्रजातिश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च सत्यमिति सत्यवचाराथेतरः तपैति तपो नित्य पौरुषिष्टिः स्वाध्याय प्रवचने एवेति नाको मौद्गल्यः taddhitapastadhitapah. First thing is, every sentence has got two sadhanas to be done, outer, inner. Most important common thing in all these sentences is supplied to us by the Acharya, the Bhashyakara, Shankara. What is that one word is supplied is what? Anushteyani iti vakya sheshaha. He said it in the beginning. Every time we have to add to. This word is not added, the entire purpose is defeated. So, Rutam cha, Swadhyaya, Pravachane cha. Like saying this, the Upanishad Rishi went away. Like, ओ पतीला लेकर करो क्या तो बताना चाहिए ना. In the Upanishadic level, they don't tell. They say in minimum words. The disciples of that time are very highly tuned to the Guru. Therefore, Guru need not tell them. उनको समझ में पतीला मतलब कहते हैं उसको समझ में आता है. लेकर सर पे मार लो या जाके स्टोव पे लगा दो. They need not be told about the Kriya Padam there. That is their level. In the eighth Anuvaka, we have seen the Guru was never telling them anything, ekar okar. He was only saying Om, Om. Everybody were understanding. Om ityetadanakurti asmavat o shravayat ya shravayat Om iti samani gayanti Om shomiti shastrani shakam santi Om iti advaryu pratigaram pratigranati Om iti brahma prasauti Om ityagni hotramarjanati. Everything is Om there. Baki samajh gaya. Only in the later period, if the thing is not told what to do, that fellow will do exactly opposite. इसलिए उसको करना पड़ता है. कहना पड़ता है क्रियापद. So the kriyapada, wherever it is not adhyara, we have to do. Adhyara means adding. What is the adhyara here? Anushteyani. So therefore, rutam cha, swadhyaya, pravachane cha. Because it is dual case, anušteye. Okay, anušteyam, anušteye, anušteyani. Singular, dual, plural, because depending on the cases or whatever that is. Grammar, all that. But anusthana hai. Anusthana means what? Entire life should be, as we have discussed, only when it becomes anusthana yukta, then it is called a worthy of living. Such anusthana yukta jivana alone can achieve something substantial for itself and the world at large. Those who don't take the life as anusthana, they do very minimum things, make maximum survival. Most of them are liability only to the world. My life should be every moment an anushtana. Anushtana means a conscious commitment uh, preceded by the correct understanding of what to achieve. That's called anushtana. Is it not? Everything is anushtana. Final anushtana is aham brahmasmi anubhuti. To reach to that, whatever have to be done, everything is done as anushtana. Anushtana is what? Nobody can do for me. I only have to do. At every cost or price or difficulty, I must do. And अनुष्ठानस generally are आजन्म. मरने तक नहीं छूटते हैं उसको अनुष्ठान. Like all brahmanas, what the sandhya vandanam they do, they won't break till they die. That's anushtana. So to everyday morning doing the yajna, it's an anushtana. And their japa, it's an anushtana. Subtle anushtana is everyday praying to their Bhagwan, then taking care of parents, everything anushtana. Oh, parents ka anushtana also till I die. Even if they die after that, through the shraddha ityadi, the anushtana of serving them continues. What a beautiful, like government servant. Till retired is anushtana servant. Even after also takes pension, he should continue. Anyway, so anushtana pada is very important, very sacred. Should be understood, should be loved, should be imbibed and practiced. पूरा जिंदगी ही अनुष्ठान होना चाहिए. A big sentence. In that, this Upanishad, whatever the things it is telling, without the Kriya Pada, through that, this Anushtana Kriya Pada, we have to add and complete the sentence. So, Rutam cha swadhyaya pravachane cha anushtheye. He is the order of the Shastra. Shastra doesn't order, it suggests. The suggestion we have to take as order. So they give Upadesha or Sandesha. It should become the Adesha for us. We have to take it as an Adesha. They give only Upadesha or Sandesh. They give an idea and advice. Order I should feel. Like what my Gurudev told me. He just told and went. He'll not bother much more than that. He cannot be strained. He has many things to do. But what he said, whatever small, if I take as Anushasana or Adesha, I get benefit. In the same way, Anushtheye. So what is Rutam? What is Swadhyaya Pravachana? We are seeing continuous. So to Satyam cha Swadhyaya Pravachane cha Anushtheye. Here Satyam is one in Vyavahara, Swadhyaya Pravachana is spiritual. दोनों एक दो हो गए, तो ड्यूअल केस हो गया अनुष्ठेय. इन द ड्यूअल केस में स्वाध्याय प्रवचन is again two more things. स्वाध्याय प्रवचन one set, रुतम और सत्यम और the other sets. ये एक हो गया एक दोनों, इसलिए ड्यूअल केस इज यूज्ड अनुष्ठेय. इन द ड्यूअल केस में अगेन द स्वाध्याय प्रवचन आर two things. And again in Swadhyaya, two things. Daily studying Shastra and thinking ourselves, am I tuning to the Shastra or not? That's Swadhyaya. Again in the Pravachana, there are two meanings. One is, Pravachanam is Adhyapanam and the Brahma Yajna. Again in the Brahma Yajna, there are two things. One is the Jnana Yajna, another is Dravya Yajna. And Brahma Yajnam technically in the Shastra parlance is what? Daily doing Parayanam is Brahma Yajna. Veda Parayanam is called Brahma Yajna. That is also another meaning, which we are doing. You are all recognizing. I'm sure I really thankful to if we are not wasting our time in our Upanishad chanting, in our Bhagavata chanting, in our Drugdrisha Viveka chanting, in our Vishnu Sahasranamaya Bhashya Parayana. I tell you, they are more valuable, neglected by every speaker and listeners in other contexts. We are training ourselves in becoming familiar with the Shastra through Parayanam, then we are contemplating on them. Then the chance is ours at home to do the meditation. In fact, we are doing better way of study. I believe so, personally. So, Brahma Yajna is daily doing the Ucharana of the Veda mantras. Brahma Yajna is, Brahma is Veda. Veda told two Yajnas. One is Dravya Yajna for this and that prosperity. Another is Jnana Yajna for spiritual unfoldment. That way, Swadhyaya Pravachane is understood. Kept in mind. If the Chitta is not sleepy, if the Buddhi is alert, all these are heard and understood, provided mind is not Chanchala, and then the Aham is not very arrogant and negligent or careless and irresponsible. Is it not? What we discussed 10 minutes back, applied here. Then what is Rutam Yatha Shastram? Yatha Kartavyam Buddhau Suparinishchitam Artham. Means what? All our thinking and design decisions should be not in contradiction to the Shastra, but they must be in line with Shastra. That is called Rutam. Satyam is what? Implementing that in action. Kaya, Vacha, Manasa. Implementing through action is called Satya. Tadeva Vakkayabhyam Sampadyamanam is Satyam. याद है ना, पढ़ रहे थे अब. Be careful. So Satyam cha Swadhyaya Pravachane cha. Don't get lost in Satyam and forget Swadhyaya Pravachana. Don't get lost in Swadhyaya Pravachana and forget Satyam. दोनों मिलकर करना है, दोनों अनुष्ठेय. थकना नहीं, रुकना नहीं, झुकना नहीं. Understood? That capacity is there in us. We have to only manifest it, unfold it. Because of non-commitment, laziness, we don't bring out our capacities. Therefore, we are ineffective in doing anything. Every human is potentially infinite, no? Every jiva. So, manifesting the divinity or infinite power is a goal. Those who don't do it, they remain where they are. They go on doing, they are going on evolving. थक क्या, मर भी जाओ, लेकिन करने का कोशिश जारी. That is why the biggest problem in human being is I can't do. One thing they say I don't want to do, second I can't do. We all are the victim of that I can't. And then we defeat the guru by saying, I can't. We shut his mouth. Then we stuck to that I can't. I can't study Sanskrit. I can't learn the shlokas. I can't chant Veda mantra. I can't get up in the morning. I can't do japa. Then what can you do? I can do only one thing, that I can say, I can't do anything. See, it is a self denial, no? It is an insult to oneself. That is a beginning of all destruction. Other thing is, I can do, is a beginning of all construction. That's why Gurudev's famous quotation, we can, we must. In 1987, when he came to Hyderabad, youth lecture, youth meet it used to be called, Ravindra Bharati. We just asked Gurudev, youth meet, give us a title, we have to do publicity. He said, can I? That was the thing. He spoke on that, 87. Then next year again he came. We asked him, Gurudev. We never reminded him of what was the thing in the earlier year. We told him, he said, we can, was the topic. He gave that topic, we can. Then the one, Gurudev has written so many books. The top most best book of Gurudev is We Can, We Must. We Must is a book. It's a what a text it is. You will not find such a powerful inspiration at every word in any of the literature. We must, this we must, this we must, this we must. Every para I will explain how to live life, what is sadhana, concludes with this we must, this we must. Wonderful. Very प्रेरणादायक book. I should start again studying it. भूल गए आजकल सब कमजोरियां हो रहे. There is a book which I might have given to at least 500 youth as gift. Whether they are studying it or not. We must. His two famous books, I Love You and We Must. I used to give the set of these two books. They used to like it. We got title, Acha, I Love You, We Must. In that 15 letters of pure divine love he writes. When he was in Uttarakashi, unwell, taking physical rest, but he was working mentally in this way. So I can't is the disease. I can is the health. So I can't balance Swamiji, Satyam and Swadhyaya Pravachane. No, then you can't. If you can't, what can I do? If you can't do yourself. If I can do, nobody need to do. They can only help me. I can do myself. Is it not? Beautiful thought. Awakening the responsible individuality in me for my own performance and evolution itself is a great achievement. मजा आता है एक बार वो जग गया मेरे अंदर साधक जब जग जाता है ना रिस्पॉन्सिबल साधक समझदार साधक अब मानो शुरुआत हो गया लाइक वंस दी स्प्राउट कम्स आफ्टर द बीज को रोपाया देन शुरुआत है वो फिर धीरे धीरे पानी ऐड करो इट बिकम्स अ प्लांट एंड गिव्स ऑल द क्रॉप बढ़िया है. So too, the responsible awakened individualities, we have individuality awakened, but it's a bhogi, a dependent fellow, a lazy fellow, an escapist. ऐसा वाला अहंकार हमारा है, like a weeds. Weeds also come out in the same earth. But a responsible individual who says, I can do my duties, do my upasanas, do my spiritual sadhana. Wonderful it is. Has he awakened in us or not? That will happen when we continuously pray to God and Guru. The grace and blessings of God and Guru is in awakening a responsible individuality in us and showing him what are his responsibilities. And we have to follow them. और क्या करना है? करो lecture, satsang, Gurudev gave us this responsibility. What else to do? Can there be any noble activity than this? No. करते जाओ फिर. क्या मजा है देखो इस तरह के जीवन में. Then the remaining time between the classes, other responsibilities give. Be that responsible person of doing your upasana, your dhyana. हो गया जिंदगी. क्या करना क्वेश्चन अभी है मतलब इट्स अ यूजलेस फेलो इज. स्टिल वी डोंट नो क्या करना. डूबो चुल्लू भर पानी में. ओके. ऋतं च स्वाध्याय सत्यं च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च तपश्च स्वाध्याय. Tapasya is a two types, One tapasya is what? taking up all the hardships for controlling senses, mind. All we discussed last 2 days. One thing what we can add to it is what? Tapasya is what? Going through all difficulties which come in our life unasked because of prarabdha and all, or the timings in which we live. All difficulties, smilingly, joyfully, is it not? Accepting them is a higher tapasya, greater tapasya. Because we react and we fight, we become dejected and suicidal and escapist. All that is not tapasya. Going through all difficulties joyfully, fulfilling our things. Like children will not listen to you. That's a pain. Yet go through the pain and continuing fulfilling responsibility of taking care of them. That is called tapasya. Is it not? Your own body will give you problem. Still going through the difficulty without compromising with the duty responsibility is called as tapasya. What is the opposite of tapasya? As I said, reaction, dejection, frustration, suicidal thoughts, escapism, becoming so much frustrated, sorrowful. अब जी के क्या करे जब दिल ही टूट गया, that type is called opposite of tapasya. In this world, nobody is without difficulties. Only a dead person has no difficulty. Till we are alive, there are problems, there are samasya, there are difficulties. समस्या को शांत मन से झेलना ही तपस्या है. Non-reaction and not getting perturbed or disturbed, nor giving up also. जितना हो सके कोशिश. कोशिश is tapasya. Prayatnam is tapasya. Giving up is opposite of tapasya. So effort is tapasya, hardships are tapasya, accepting all the difficulties joyfully and negotiating is tapasya. Yeah, there is poverty to someone, there is loneliness to someone, there is physical health problem to someone. Nobody without problem. My problem may not be yours, but you have your own. Yours is not mine, but I have my own. Is it not? है कि नहीं मजेदार बात. Tapasya. Tapasya swadhyaya pravachane cha. Because through the tadapa only we evolve. Only through difficulties and hardships that we evolve. That's so Bhagwan. पेड़ भी गर्मी में तड़पता है, जमीन में तड़पता है, तभी जाकर वो ग्रो होता है. तपना तड़पना सेम. Unless we are ready for tapa it is called scorching heat, difficulty. We will never grow. Outshining नहीं होता हमारा, है कि नहीं? रगड़ना पड़ता है सोने को तभी चमकता है वो हर एक चीज. That ragada is called tapasya. Nothing comes effortlessly, easily, remember. And everything comes with due efforts. Therefore, whatever you have goal, work towards it. That's also tapasya. So tapasya swadhyaya pravachane. Every day in the total day fully filled with activities. And keep on saying, मैं करते करते मरूंगा, नहीं करते जीते जीते नहीं मरूंगा. ऐसा वाला. That thought in me, that what Gurudev gave the work, I will relentlessly do till the moment of death. That's called that tapasya. Because if we start, don't know the excuses, give a leniences, then we still just get sidetracked. और उसके बाद फिर गुरुदेव के पास जाकर गिड़गिड़ा के कुछ नहीं हुआ. What will he do? I gave you chance. I gave you all the inspiration. You didn't. What can I do? The doctor gave medicine and you didn't take and disease increased. What will he do, Bata? Government gave job. You are not properly working. You took bribe. Suspended. What can they do? याद रखना इन बातों को. हमको हमेशा पीछे मुड़कर देखे तृप्ति होना है कि आई डिड तपस्या, नॉट रिग्रेट यार नहीं किया. किमहगम साधुना करवम किमहगम पापम अकरमविति. द वर्स्ट लाइफ. व्हाई डिडंट आई डू गुड? व्हाई डिडंट आई अवॉइड बैड? We will see in the second Brahmananda Valli. Today only we chanted. Tomorrow we will chant it. Okay. Tavascha swadhyaya pravachancha is exhaustively explained. Last 2 days. Now the next one we take up today. Ki damascha swadhyaya pravachancha. All the 10 indriyas also have to be fully mastered. Maximum जितना अपने हो सके. Always there should be satisfaction in effort, not in achievement. And never satisfied in the efforts without putting due. And it is the inner God tells you whether satisfactorily effort is put or not. पता चल जाता है. A genuine, sincere person himself is a judge for himself. Like, am I putting my effort in having classes? He is my own judgment. I know that. And I know I'm not satisfied. I can do better. I have to do. I'll put forth effort for that. Same way, the damaha, all the 10 indriyas. What is said here? Damaha, bahya, karna, upashamaha. Along with that, swadhyaya, pravachanencha. We spoke on that, therefore we're not explaining. नेक्स्ट शमः च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च. दवा लेवल में क्या इंद्रियों का एक चीज आप मास्टर पॉइंट का रख सकते हो कि नो इंद्रिया शुड बी टेकन फॉर ग्रांटेड. Because one indriya is enough for destroying entire sadhaka in us. This is a big statement which is highly neglected. 8 indriyas you controlled, 2 not controlled, they are enough to destroy. 9 controlled, 1 not controlled, destroy. Like in any accident, every part is not spoiled. ना एक गड़बड़ है वो काफ़ी है पूरा एक्सीडेंट होने के लिए. In making of food, every item is good. एक चीज़ गड़बड़ वाली है तो सारा स्पॉइल होता है. In the same way, even one indriya we take for granted, we are destroyed as sadhak. That is the highest standard we have to keep. Work towards that. And all of us that we are very good in 3, 4, 5 indriyas. बाकी 5 में फंसे रहते हैं. काफ़ी है हमें सत्यानाश होने में. Think about it. Pancha Jnanendriya, Pancha Karmendriya, all should be. That's what Dasharatha. To him only the Rama is born. Spirituality. Rama Jnanam, Bharata Yogam, Lakshmana Vairagyam, Shatrughna Seva. Bharata Yogam or Bhakti you can say. You know, Karma, Bhakti, Jnana, Yoga, they are the 4. Born to only Dasharatha. Clear? And what are born to that Dashamukha? Only the Indrajit and all of them. Rakshasas. Damaha, no Indriya is taken for granted. Lagao man mein thought. And the effort of it is difficult till the conviction doesn't come. When we are convinced that the control of my senses is for my own evolution, once that is done, then there is joy in doing so. To come to that level, little of discipline, little of withdraw from world, then contemplating that what did I lose if I withdraw from the world. This way धीरे धीरे अपने अंदर के ही इस ज्ञान का शुरुआत और स्ट्रांग बनाना है कि इंद्रिय निग्रह मेरे ही भलाई के लिए. And observe the people who are lavishly misused indriyas and destroyed their life, whose faculty they controlled and they grew in life. ऐसे एग्जाम्पल देखो तो प्रेरणा मिलती है. खुद पर एक्सपेरिमेंट करो तो समझदारी बढ़ती है. फिर कन्विक्शन होता है. देन कीप ऑन डूइंग. You know those people of diabetes. You know those who are mindful of eating sweets always search for alternative. They can't give up sweet. They go for insulin, they go for this, that, they go for sugar-free wala sugar. But the fellow understands that my health and my vital parts are important to me. In one go, he says, doctor said, not to sugar, given up. छोड़ दिया तो छोड़ ही दिया पूरा. He is matured. दमन कर पाया उसने इंद्रिय का. And he'll have all benefits. There are people with 40 years of sugar have no problem. The others 5 साल में पूरा बॉडी सत्यानाश कर ली. ही अंडरस्टूड व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इन टोटल. एक चीज शुगर छोड़ दिया तो no, that person should become an example for us. He can do what, why can't I do? Not the other fellow. Oh, इतना sugar खा रहा है, he is taking so much insulin, I will also take. This is a wrong example. अंधे नैव नियमाना means that. See, when you inquire like this, no, at how many places we are going wrong. In taking example also we falter, and that it depends on what is our goal. हमको शुगर खानी है तो उसको ही हम एग्जाम्पल लेते हैं, उसी को दोस्त बनाते हैं. वो कहता भी है कि मैं 2 दिन में एक बार गन्ने का जूस भी पीता हूँ, फिर मैं डबल इंसुलिन लेता हूँ, मेरे को क्या हुआ, कुछ. दैट कैनॉट बी दी रावण कुंभकर्ण कैनॉट बी द गोल फॉर अस, नो एग्जाम्पल. यद्यद् आचरति श्रेष्ठ. In this way, all put together is maturity. Anyway, Damaha. Next one is Shamascha Swadhyaya Pravachane. Shamaha, just now we spoke, yesterday also exhaustively explained. Ability to keep the mind as alert and cool all the time as possible itself is Shamaha. With that cool mind, let the intellect do the job of inquiry, research, and all that. Cool is not irresponsible, cool is not lazy. Cool is non-agitated, non-perturbed, because of unfulfilled desire from within or unaccomplished things outside, or things are absolutely not in proper way, six senses में है, तो मन हर बार एजिटेट होता रहता है, नहीं होने देना. शांत मन, डायनामिक मन इज विद शमः. शमित मन. And we have explained from Katha Upanishad and everywhere what is Shamaha. Virajya Vishayavratat Dosha Drushtya Muhurmuhu Swalakshe Niyatavastha Manasah Shama Uchyate. With Dosha Drushti, pulling the mind from the objects through senses and putting it in your own goal is called Shama. Dosha Drushtya Muhu Muhu Vishayavratat Virajya Swalakshe Niyata Avastha Manasah Shamaha Uchyate. Viveka Chudamani. Ah. Now, Shama, when it is said, here, please remember, lucky for us, you are so lucky, without knowing that we spoke in the introduction only, Shama is control of all the Antarendriya. That's what he said, Shamaha Antakarana Upashama. See, Shama, we talked yesterday, day before, as the mana only, because we were conditioned by our earlier definition of controlling the mind is Shama in other texts written by Shankara only. But here he is refining and improving. Shama is not Mano Nigraha. He says Shama is Antakarana Upashamaha. And he only gave us prerana as if today in the introduction to discuss about spirituality means the management of all the four inner qualities. See, Antakarana Upashamaha. All the four inner faculties. Antakarana में मतलब चारों. The mana, as we saw, peaceful, concentrating, buddhi, sharp and inquiring, chitta, awakened from laziness, aham, humble, responsible, surrender. Antakarana upashama is shama, not only mana. Is it not? Actually, mana is a common word. In that, other three are also included. All four put together, antakarana. Four are not there. There is one only. Antakaranaha upashamaha. He said antakarana upashamaha. अंदर का इंस्ट्रूमेंट. इट इज वन ओनली. स्टफ इज वन, फंक्शनली फोर. उन सारे चीजों को कंट्रोल कर क्षमा कहते हैं. कीप ऑन डूइंग इट एट द सेम टाइम. स्वाध्याय प्रवचने. व्हाट इज स्वाध्याय प्रवचना? When we superficially see, not from Adi Shankara's Bhashya standpoint, superficial means direct literal meaning of the mantra, imprint Swadhyaya Pravachana, study Shastra, speak on Shastra, study Shastra, do Prachar of Shastra. It is a job and duty of everyone, right from the day one of study. Then you become stronger in its understanding, that gives conviction, then we become committed, then we become regular, then it gives result. कितना जरूरी है देखो. देयर आर सम पीपल, कोई भी सिनेमा देखते हैं, अगले दिन बच्चे अपने ऑफिस में शेयर कर ही लेते. दे कांट बी विदाउट. That habit, if they use it for this one, study Shastra and discuss. Now, why the Pravachana Shadhyaya, Shankara Bhagavan is going to tell at the end of it. First is explaining all that. What is the meaning of Swadhyaya, its purpose, Pravachana, its purpose. He will explain so beautifully. We are going to see it tomorrow. Definitely. कंप्लीट स्टडी वी आर डूइंग, ही विल नॉट लीव इट हाफ ना, हम भी आधा नहीं छोड़ेंगे। अभी तो हम मंत्रों का मुख्य अर्थ हम समझ रहे हैं, देन उसका अंतरार्थ परमार्थ क्या है, लक्ष्य, ही विल टीच अस, ही विल टेल अस व्हाई वी हैव टू डू the pravachana, only then the dharma sthapana will happen, it is our duty, he will tell us. Smrutyartham dharma pracharartham cha, he will write. We will see it. Okay. Here now, shamaha, antakarana, upashamaha, along with that, swadhyaya pravachane cha. Ho gaya. Now next comes shama. I am thinking that I have done complete explanation. Shama, we spoke and talked from Kathopanishad standpoint. Sorry, our what do you say? Adi Shankara's Vivek standpoint. In general, also, Shama is inner antakarana. We talked in the discussion today, introduction, how each one of them have to be mastered, managed, utilized. Then Shama is mano nigraha, antakarana nigraha. Means that always should be in our availability, in our own control. Manavadhi Chittankar, and they are fully employed, used. Like every employee is in the control and correctly doing what the boss is saying, that company how beautifully grows, prospers. So too, I an individual have my four antakarana, I know their capacities, I know their utility, I am employing it for that. That's called Shama. Okay. And the general meaning is keeping always mind cool, non-reaction. तपस्या का भी थोड़ा वही डेफिनेशन दिया हमने, क्षमा भी वही है। क्षमश्च स्वाध्याय प्रवचने च, each of you have to do your own homework for your own clarity to understand what of each these sadhanas are told, along with स्वाध्याय प्रवचन का मीनिंग क्या है। मुझे अपना करना पड़ता है, आपको। My knowledge cannot help you, yours cannot help me, na. My knowledge can help me, therefore I must have knowledge. If I don't do the thinking with the buddhi, I will not have clear understanding. Understanding is called knowledge. Unless you understand, then what do you do? पहले समझने के बाद करते हैं ना, अब ना समझी में जो भी करते हो गड़बड़ होता है, तो समझने के लिए सोचना पड़ता है। सोचो, समझो, जानो, करो। One next one is what? Agnayascha adhatavyaha. Next one is Agnayascha swadhyaya pravachane. Then Agnihotram cha swadhyaya pravachane. Atitayascha swadhyaya pravachane. Manusham cha swadhyaya pravachane. Praja cha swadhyaya pravachane. Prajanascha swadhyaya pravachane. Prajatischa. These are the 7 are left. Out of 12, 5 we have seen. Ratam cha, Satyam cha, Tapascha, Damascha, Shamascha. 5 are seen. 7 are there. Agnaya, Agnihotram, Atiti, Manusham, then Prajacha, then Prajanascha, Prajatischa. Exactly 7. These are all every day should be done duties along with Swadhyaya Pravachana. This is the only way we escape the mind's unnecessary, what is a sankalpa vikalpa about the worldliness with which we are bound. Keep child very busy in study and other constructive works during summer holiday. This is the only way you can save him from his nonsense. एल्स उसको मन खाने पे जाएगा या और कुछ खेलने पे जाएगा या सोने पे जाएगा या किसी लड़ेगा वो. Everything is distractive. That's why intelligent parents keep the children busy during holiday. 2 घंटे कंप्यूटर, 3 घंटे ये वाला वो नेक्स्ट ईयर का जो पढ़ा है उसमें बिजी हो जाओ. We also in these tools keep busy along with Swadhyaya Pravachana, then the growth is assured. It's a beautiful thing. You see, our Upanishads are such highest level, perfect, ultimate है. उसको समझने के लिए भी एक अवकाश चाहिए हमको. Many of us don't deserve even to know the greatness of Upanishad because of our ashraddha. You know that? थोड़ा प्रेम करो, श्रद्धा रखो उपनिषद में, फिर उपनिषद अपना महिमा बताएगा, फिर अपना जो बात बताना है वो बताएगा, फिर इंस्पिरेशन देगा. Then it will make us do sadhana and reveal the self to us. Upanishad is so complete. Lifelong, I am not going to leave Upanishad. If all 10 Upanishads are taught, I will learn Bengali, Gujarati, Marathi, Bhojpuri. In that I will talk. But luckily my audience forget everything, so I can talk same thing. फिर से शुरू करो. अब लकीली उपनिषद तो हिंदी में पढ़ाए नहीं, एक तो है ही, थोड़ा सा हम इंग्लिश में देख रहे हैं, तेलुगु वाले हो गया. Upanishad should be every day. Our goal now for me, ABCD, Ambarasmi Chinmay, our channel's main goal is Upanishad Adhyanam. Throughout the day you can't do that, therefore little Durgudru Shivakam also, our evening Bhagavad Rama. For our thinking, even Bhagavad Ramayana talks same theme what is said in Upanishad. You see the Rama Hridayam, don't you see Bhagavad, Bhagavan Krishna started talking such a sublime truth? We are so lucky that way by all means. Anyway, so Agnayascha Swadhyaya Pravachane Agnayaha Adhatavyaha. That is what Bhashyakara. So Agnayaha Adhatavyaha. So Agnis have to be always protected. These are for the Grahastha. Okay, Agnayaha. So the two main Agnis that are always kept in the Grahasthas is called one Agni for cooking Bhojanam, one Agni for doing Yajna. So Agneyaha Adhatavyaha. It is every day, they are all Agnihotri. Every Grahastha is an Agnihotri. यज्ञ के लिए अग्नि का संचय करके रखना, देन भोजन आदि बनाकर खुद के खाने के लिए. If you don't do yajna, then you are not respecting the devatas and all the beings. So too, if you are not having chulha to cook, then you have no food to eat yourself, your family, then starving. Agneya. In personality, Agneya means the same three Agnis. Then Garahapatya, Anvahara Pachana, then Ahavaniya Agni. Anvaharya Pachana Agni, Garahapatya and Ahavaniya they call. Each Agni works at three levels. One Agni is at the Mana Buddhi level. Always contemplative, spiritual, etc. Second Agni is at the stomach level for maintenance of our personality. Third Agni is for the lower desire, the Kama Agni it is called. Jatara Agni, Kama Agni, Mana Agni. Mana Buddhi Agni is for knowing Jnanam. Jatara Agni is for the sake of maintenance of personality. Kama Agni is to serve the world by creating the progeny. Serve the world by creating progeny, a responsible progeny, which will come again. Three words will be used. Prajati, Prajanaha, Prajacha. We will see that tomorrow. So these three are the inner Agnis. Always they have to be kindled. The Kama Agni killing is what? Once the children are born, taking care of them is the Kamana there. Not any more Kamana. So to Jataragni is, once the stomach is filled, what constructive work I have to do? That's called a Jataragni ka Hamesha intact Rakna. Then Manobuddhi Agni is always pursuit of ultimate truth through contemplation. You know, these are the outer Agnis which we do in the Yajna. Yajna may be Ahavani Agni, then Garahapati Agni, then Anvaharya Vachana Agni. These three are there. We have seen them in Prashnopanishad. Which are the ones which are awakened when we are in deep sleep, or these Agnis are the ones which are awakened. The beautiful comparison, explanation, all that is given there. So Agnayaha Adhatavyaha. So Agnayascha Swadhyaya Pravachanecha. The outside Agni also should be ready always. Bhojanagni as well as Yajnagni. Inside also, don't allow these three Agnis to quieten. The Manobuddhi Agni for gaining Jnanam, the Jatara Agni for maintaining oneself, the Kamana Agni to serve the world. See, karma, when it becomes service oriented, it is no more a detrimental karma. And the karma is not given the direction of service, then it becomes liability. Think, think. Everything what is spoken here in our Shastra is to be pondered over. That's why awaken the mana, awaken the buddhi, awaken the चित्तो. बुद्धि को अवेकन करके सोचते रहे तो समझदारी बढ़ता रहता है. In everything is समझदारी only. One is thoughtful knowledge, one is thought beyond experience. Beyond thought experience is aham brahmasmi. Knowledge, the thought level, is the perfection of understanding regarding what is happening and what is to be done. There's no ambiguity possible, should not be possible. But we are really confused about everything. क्योंकि दिमाग को यूज ही नहीं किया सोचने समझने के लिए. क्योंकि दिमाग बिक गया मन और इंद्रियों के पीछे फॉर द भोग ऑफ द वर्ल्ड. Think. Anyway, then Agnihotram, Agnihotra Pravachas means what? Every day the Agnihotra has to be lit, in which the oblations have to be done according to your own tradition in the morning. Along with that, special occasions come, we have to do the Agnihotram. So Agnihotram cha hotavyam. Variety of the yajnas are there for grahastha. Every day वाले होते हैं, so too occasional. Darsha, Purnamasa, all of them are yajnas. Ekadashi yajna hai, Trayodashi yajna hai, Paurnima yajna hai, Amavasa yajna hai. Then during variety of the special occasions, Makara Sankramana yajnas are there. इस तरह से अग्निहोत्र से दिन भरते रहना है. Every day they should. That's how you have to maintain your schedule and routine. Keep dynamic and active. इतना बॉडी मन को एक्टिव डायनेमिक करो तो उतना एनर्जेटिक रहेगा. नहीं करोगे तो सड़ जाएगा. रिमेंबर, वी आर लेजी एंड वी आर डिसीज्ड बिकॉज वी आर नॉट वर्किंग. व्हेन वी वर्क, ऑल फैकल्टीज यूज देम वर्किंग के लिए, तो कोई लेजीनेस, कोई बीमारियां नहीं होते हैं. नहीं काम कर रहे तो लेजी हो गए, लेजी हो गए तो बीमारियां. मैं आ गया हूँ, दे आर कमिंग. काम करते रहो तो वेयर इज द लेजीनेस टू बॉडी. When there is no laziness, there is no disease. Because with laziness we become bhogi. ये खाओ, वो खाओ, ये सिनेमा देखो. Then that removes the immunity, all diseases come. Not that because diseases come, I am not working. It's other way. I'm not working, therefore बीमारियां आ गए. वर्क करते रहो, बीमारी होगा ही नहीं. Some of you are a good example. Everyone of, in fact. Luckily, all my audience are hard working. देवर छुटमुट घटनाओं को छोड़कर प्रारब्ध, अदरवाइज यू आर अवेलेबल. यू आर नॉट लाइक ए मोबाइल डिसीज टेम्पल लाइक अदर्स. एक न एक बीमारी है इसलिए क्लास आ ही नहीं रहे. ऐसा नहीं है आप लोग. इज इट नॉट? स्वामी जी बीमारी है, क्लास नहीं आ रहा हूँ. क्लास आ जाओ, बीमारी दूर हो जाएगा. ओम, थैंक यू. पूर्णमदः. ओम 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 ओम. ओम पूर्णमद पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते. ओम शांति शांति शांति. हरि ओम. श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः. परमर्षिभ्यो नमः. परब्रह्मणे नमः. श्रुतिमात्रे नमः. तत्सत्. ब्रह्मार्पणमस्तु. Thank you, friends, for 10 minute class.